Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Sideline Debrief. We're back this week once again, late on in the week, just due to our own schedules. But we're back with our Keep Sell series, and this week we're doing League 1. I will be doing Marseille, and Ethan will be doing Monaco. We're going to be going over the key players, about 20 players in each squad, who, in our opinion, we think they should keep, who we think they should sell, and who we think they should loan out. We've been doing this series now. We've done League La Liga, and we've done Seville and Villarreal. We've done Serie A, where we've done Napoli, and who'd you do?
In
You
Serie
did
A,
yeah.
I did
Did you do AC?
no, I did AS Roma.
You did Roma.
Yes.
Yes, of course. So we're continuing on our series here. Next week will be the Bundesliga, but today we're talking League of course, the PSG dominated league. Last year only won the league by a point, which I did not realize because I did not pay any attention to League at
The
all.
games I only watched was PSG and Marseille. I only watched the
Yeah,
PSG versus Marseille games last season.
I saw Marseille because they played Spurs in the
Well, I did
Champions
watch
League.
that game too, but
Yeah,
Liga
so
specific, only PSG versus Marseille.
So they had a restructuring going into this season. They are changing from a 20 team format league to an 18 team format league, just like the Bundesliga. So they relegated four teams. So one team that usually did not get relegated got relegated. So very unfortunate that Auxerre went down on the last day to Nuts. But towards the top end of the table, PSG only won by a point over Lens. Neither of those teams we're talking about. Third place was Marseille. Fourth, Rennes.
Rennes.
Fifth, Lille. Sixth, Monaco, and seventh, Lyon. Those were the kind of the top teams vying for those European spots, and those are the teams that usually show up in Europe. Um, so the league should be more interesting going into next year. PSG, of course, completely redoing what they've kind of done in the past. Messi's gone over into Miami. I think he makes his debut tonight, Friday night,
He does
and
actually. I might have
he
to
switched
make.
on.
I might have to watch a totally legal stream
Yep, me too.
tonight.
Me too. And Mbappe, I got a rumor today that he's been transfer listed by PSG. So we could go into next season with no
Wasn't he
Mbappe.
not listed as one of the majority stakeholders for PSG? That was part of his contract deal.
Yeah, I got this notification that came up on my way home from work. Boom. Through Breach report from Felipe Romano, PSG put French star up for sale. Feels he wants to leave for free in 2024.
How would that work? If he would he have to give up ownership, part of his ownership?
Probably.
Because that would be pretty corrupt if he was still able to keep it, but went to another Champions League team and still owned part of PSG.
We don't need to dive into corruption.
I
We could talk
guess,
about Saudi
yeah,
Arabia all day. How they're
yeah,
buying players
yeah.
from Newcastle who they own. Um, that's interesting.
Who did
They're buying Saint Maximin.
Saudi Arabia bought Saint Maximum?
They're going to for like 30 mil. Now, if it was 100 mil, there'd be some issues. But 30 mil, I mean, that's kind of his market values. I don't know. It's shady business.
Doesn't he want to play Champions League football? And now that he could, he's going to Saudi Arabia.
Champions League football get a ridiculous amount of money, so you never have to worry for the rest of your life.
He'll
Jordan
probably
Henderson's
gamble it all
debut.
away, so it doesn't matter.
Jordan Henderson's going to Jared's team. But back to League On. So we're going to start today with your team, Monaco. Not as interesting as the Saudi Arabia talks, or
Not as
maybe they are.
interesting, but with my
Yeah,
ideas, I have a pretty big
out of Europe, and
yeah,
the Ben Yedder team,
the Ben
the
Yedder
rat from
team
Haifa.
and the controversy Ben Yedder with the recent allegations. I don't know if you've heard.
I think I saw.
Yeah, so he's a big iffy. But we'll get onto that when we go onto the forwards, because as always, we start with the goalkeepers.
Hmm.
And this, it's not a big fire sale, but I have either said loan or sell to a decent amount of players on this
Hmm.
list.
I'm
Just
looking at
because,
this now. They have a big squad.
yeah, big squad. There's either just get rid of the players and get a couple very solid 30 to 40 million players, or hold on to that money for the future. But you
Mhm.
just got out of European football. You're not going to make that much revenue, or as in comparison, you're not going to make that much revenue. So you need to sell some players in order to get back into it. Starting with goalkeepers, Philip Cohn, they just got very young. Obviously, you want to keep him, and just the other goalkeeper, Majeki. I just keep his backup. You just want
Mhm.
to.
Mhm.
He's experienced, not as good, not as high value, but you still want to keep him, just as a solid backup.
Looks like he just came back on loan.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to put him back on loan or sell him. You just need
Mhm.
selling a decent amount of players. You still need to hold on to a few like solid backups or rotation players. Like if they do a cup run, have him be that player.
You need some continuity, especially like you see that a team that doesn't have continuity in Chelsea. That's a big
Yeah,
issue for them.
the only player that has continuity there is Kepa, and
Yeah, and he could be sold.
exactly.
You never know.
Yeah. All right, moving on to defenders. With Axel Disasi, keep. You just want to keep him as much as you can.
Disasi?
Disasi, I mean, I'm not French, even though he's not French. I know he's not French.
I mean, better than I would have done. But yeah.
I honestly have no clue how to pronounce his name. That's how I thought you pronounce his name. Or Die Sassy. You can go with that. But either way, you want to keep him. Moving on to Guillermo Maripan. I just said keep. There's no rumors, no solid rumors going on around him. So keep him as like solid, either like a second center back or keep him a solid rotation. And then the last center back on this list is Chris Lane Massima. I just said keep. Um, really, just again, more rotation. And with the other center backs, it's really up. You need to make money, sell them,
Mhm.
buy another experienced center back. Like this team is out of
Bring it
European
home.
football. You need revenue coming in.
Mhm.
Moving on to left backs and just moving forward with this list, looking at it, every other single one is going to be keep or loan or keep or sell. So be ready for that.
All right.
Cal Enrique, I said keep. Obviously, he's in his prime, and he's a great player. You need to keep him. And Ismail Jacobs, sell. Young can get a good amount of money. This is the part. This is the point where we're going to need to start selling players. And right back, you want to keep him. He's young. He's solid. I notice our fullbacks are very good and young, so they want to keep and hold on to them. You going to say something?
Yeah, I mean, I was just looking at the players that Monaco were looking to bring in, and they're both center backs. It's interesting that you would say sell all the center backs because they're looking to bring in Salisu and Nadio Bio, it looks like,
Oh,
from
so
Sunderland and Southampton.
keep Sassy and then bring in those other center backs. And honestly, it doesn't sound like a bad idea. I think I should hire me, Monaco. I took a
Yeah,
couple years of French in high school. I
you
can
could definitely pronounce the Sassi.
exactly. And I'm just trying to have bad blood. He'll tell me how to. He'll show me. Moving on to Ruben Aguilera. I said sell. He'd still get a good amount of money. He's older. If you really want to keep him, he'd be a good backup. But that's money that could be spent in other areas. Get a cheaper backup that can be used as right back and spread that money elsewhere. Moving on to midfielders. Kamara, just keep him. He's their best DM. You just want to keep him, hold on to him. And Magasa, I just said loan. Cut the wages a little bit. He's young. He can come back next season, much better. Loan him to maybe a not the same league because Ligue 1 is. I don't like Ligue 1 with like loans going out to there because it's not the best league to grow and progress.
I think it is. I
Well,
think it
for
is,
younger
especially for
players,
pros.
yeah, but I'm being counterintuitive to what I'm saying. But I think if it goes to like a to really progress, going to like a Bundesliga maybe, because they aren't very defensively focused, and if he proves that he can be good defensively focused and not be as stressed there, because they're not very focused on defense there, so it gives him more freedom to like grow. Like kind of like I think that would be good if he was able to go there as a center defensive mid. Fofana, just keep. He's a very solid player. He's always a solid player. You just want to keep hold on to him. And Matazo, I just said keep. You again, he's a very solid player. We still need to hold on to players. But Diop, I just said young, inexperienced, so loan. Again, he's a good central midfielder, but maybe
He just signed. It looks like he just signed his first professional contract.
even with that, I mean, they might be looking to use him, but he is very young and inexperienced. I can't really see him getting that many minutes unless it's for like like a cup run. But that's really about it. And with a young player like that who looks very promising, he should get minutes. So I think he should be utilized well and put on loan somewhere. Maybe even keep him in Ligue 1. It's not like he's a defensive player, so I think that's fine if he stays in Ligue 1. Keep him local and have him loan there. Just don't have him play against Monaco, against your own team.
Fair.
Moving on to Golovin. I just said keep. He's a very solid player. And then the next two, Ben Seguir and Akliush. Akliu? Not pronouncing their names correct very well.
Aklush? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say it.
I said loan for both of them, especially for Akliush. He's very young, very good. But for him, I would say if you don't loan, use him as backup. But for Seguir, I said if you don't loan him, sell him. He's worth 18 million. He could be sold definitely for more, maybe even upwards of 25 if you really use that money negotiations wisely. And you can get a good amount of money and spread it around somewhere else. So, it's my personal opinion there. Moving on to forwards with Minamino. I said sell.
Legend.
Sorry?
Leeds rumors legend.
Yeah, Leeds rumors legend along with I am brain farting so much today. He just went to Wolves this past season.
Doherty?
No, in the January. The striker Cunha. He was been rumored to Leeds for like 3 or 4 years. He just never came. But yeah, with Minamino, Leeds rumor legend. I said sell. Get him replaced for a more experienced. Sorry, not a more experienced. A younger winger that isn't as expensive. Maybe half the price of him.
Time to one of those attacking midfielders, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. And just sell him. Use that money elsewhere, or just sign a cheaper winger, or bring in some youth. Maybe. I haven't really said it in the other two. Keep, sell, leave episodes, but maybe just bring in youth in that spot. Just straight up, don't even spend money, or bring in one of the attacking midfielders, put him in that role, and bring in youth for a substitute with the attacking midfielder. Like sometimes you just need to bring in youth, and you're not going to start them, but have them start playing, have them start giving minutes. Dialta, the way I wrote this in my notebook, kind of butchered the writing on this. I think it's Dialta.
Diata.
I said keep. He's young. He's very good. You want to use him. And Martins, I said sell for more money that could be used in other areas. And again, same situation with Minamino. Maybe bring in more youth. Maybe just sell him and bring in a solid replacement. And Musaba, I just said keep his backup. Now moving on to the center forwards with Embolo, I said keep. He is injured right now, but he's a quality player. You just want to keep him.
He's only 26.
I know he's basically in his prime. He's a quality player. Wait for him to be healed up, and he'll be fine. great center forward, best center forward that they
He's always
have.
hurt.
Yeah, and for Ben Yedder, I said pending on allegations. Obviously, you do not want him.
Terrible.
It is
That's terrible.
terrible.
But yeah, makes sense.
I said, but either way, he's not going to be on the team, I would say. Because pending on allegations, he's getting older. I say you he's the captain, so it sucks. I say either sell him, get your money now, and bring in another backup for Embolo. This is how it is, because even if think of this is purely based on the allegations. Even if the allegations aren't true, or even because you never know with these situations, just because of publicity and PR, like it's such a sticky situation to put your
Definitely.
to have your club in. So I said possibly get rid of based on allegations, as in cut contract and like let him leave, or if the allegations aren't true, sell him, trying to get your money. Don't risk any further allegations coming through, because think about it like this: even if the allegations aren't true, but there's evidence in court proving that he's still a shitty dude, you still want to get rid of him. You don't want that kind of publicity and PR, and he damn well won't be giving interviews anymore as a captain.
So, I mean, I get he's not a good person off the field, but he's super important to Monaco. The squad's super young. Let me reel off his last 3 seasons at Monaco.
No, I know he's
36
great.
appearances,
Yeah,
20 goals. 37 appearances, 25 goals. 32 appearances, 19 goals.
that's the problem.
And all those seasons, yeah, all those seasons
Sometimes
at
you just have
85
to
assists.
move on. Is the problem with that,
Mhm.
and it sucks to say. Maybe it's just his time to move on. Maybe
I'd be very surprised if he left.
honestly, I think he would do great in the Serie A. Maybe not Napoli, but if he went to like AC Milan with Leao on his left, two very techy players, I think he'd do great. But
If
I
I was
think
him,
he should leave Monaco.
if I was him, I wouldn't be a terrible person. And I'd stay at Monaco. This is a tax-free haven.
You know, you're damn right. Sometimes I forget about that. Um, but again, it could be. It's the team too. They
Yeah,
could just
I
try and
get what
cut
you're saying.
ties.
I doubt they tried to kick out their captain, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
Maybe it
it's
is
just a
worth
very
it.
secure. I don't want to be involved with this one. Let's move on to Volland, shall we?
Yes.
Sell.
Dang.
Just cutthroat. He's still worth 8 million, but he's 30. And let's be
Mhm.
realistic, he is not getting it playing time if they keep Ben Yedder behind Embolo and Ben Yedder. Besides maybe
Mhm.
a shitty like the first game of the cup,
Mhm.
because they're not in
Mhm.
Europe. They need to actually fight for a cup around the season. And
Definitely.
then Baudu, loan, he's not going to get many minutes this season. Loan, he's
Mhm.
young, he'll do great. Come back if you want to sell him. Come back with a higher return. If you want to keep him, he'll be a great replacement. If next season, for example, you sell him Bolo or Ben Yedder,
Yep.
and that
And
does
it
it
says,
for Monaco.
yep. And Ballin, it looks like they only made half the amount of transfers, so maybe he'd be the striker that's squeezed out,
Yeah,
which would make sense. Okay. We'll move on to Marseille now. The Champions League side, Marseille, not a non-European side. Super boring pick by you. That squad, I didn't realize how big it was. It has a lot of chapters ready to go. So Marseille's definitely a solid, smaller squad, so I've got less players to talk about.
yeah,
But the reason why I picked Marseille is because most of their players have played in the Premier League or just players played at a top team for a while. So a lot of the names are really recognized to me because as a Premier League watcher, I guess I could say,
yeah.
I've seen a lot of these players already. So I was actually very familiar with the squad already. Um, and even looking at it, I think it's interesting how many like the squad seems. It's kind of interesting all the players that ended up here. Like the squad seems weird to me, but yeah, I might as well hop right in. Goalies were very simple. There was two: Pau Lopez Formerly of Rome, formerly of Spurs, who never made an appearance, basically a year alone at Espanyol. Crazy to me that he's 28. He should seems like he's either 35 or 25, not 28. I don't know if that makes any sense, but he's been around a long time. Lost his place at Roma once Mourinho came in. Brought in a couple, I think 2 seasons ago at Marseille. Just keep, he's about, I want to say, quality.
Yeah.
He's nothing insane where he's going to be bought away, but there's no need to upgrade. And then the goalie, Simon Impandidinobu.
You tried your
We're going to go
best.
with that. We're going to go with that.
Simon.
We're going to put
What are you going to do with
Simon.
Simon?
Keep, I mean, there's no comment, really. I wrote keep, no comment. He's worth 400,000 according to Transfer Market. He hasn't made a senior appearance yet. He has the number 1 shirt, but
But he's worth 400,000.
he's the backup. You keep maybe he's gonna be insane. He's gonna take Pau Lopez's seat. FIFA doesn't think so. He's 59 rated. I know that's not an actual measure of how good a player is going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, moving on to center back. We've got 4 center backs in the squad, but I'm going to talk about 3, the main 3. Their best player, or best center back and best defender, arguably, is Mbemba. Last year got a red card tackling Son in the Champions League, but formerly of Porto and Newcastle, didn't do well in the Prem, but very pacey center back. A lot of the times Marseille will play with a back 3, and he'll be one of those center backs on the side, and he'll go flying up the pitch. Definitely lead it from the back. I'd say keep. They bought him for 17 million. I don't think you get much more than that. He's 28 years of age. I'd keep him around. Next up is Ingot, bought for 10 million as well last season. Once again, I'd keep. They bought him over from Sparta Moscow. I'd keep him. He's going to be rotating in the back 3. He can play at the center, or if you're playing at 2 back, he's comfortable on either side. And then the other center back, the young Argentinian Valerde, bought from Dortmund, actually. An Argentinian bought from Dortmund, playing for Marseille. An interesting career path. And he's Italian. So bought for 12 million. I'd keep him. Maybe loan him out. He's worth the same amount as Gingot, but if you're going to only play 2 at the back, maybe you'd loan him out and look for another center back to bring in while he develops somewhere else. At 24 years of age, he's got a while to go as a center back to hit his prime. Big forward to the left backs. They just brought in Radon Lodi. You remember him, Nottingham Forest legend?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they just bought him for, I believe it's what I write down, 13 million. They've actually been pretty active this summer, so I'm going to go through all their signings too. Bring him in, start him. He's a great player. Kind of crazy. He's kind of bumping around after Atletico. Doing well for Atletico. Only 25 years of age. Keep, start. I mean, they just bought him, so
Yeah.
sell him. Back up. Jordan Amavi used to be a bit of a wonder kid. Now 29 years of age, worth 2 million. Just spent last season alone for Getafe. So you can do without him. Look for a new fullback. Try to, yeah, it's not worth keeping around. Obviously, not in the plans there at Marseille. And then right back, Santa Claus himself, Jonathan Klaus. Keep. There's no other right backs in the squad currently. He's a bit old at 30 years of age, but definitely into his prime late. So he could have a few more years in those legs. I'd keep him. He's perfect for that 5 at the back system. And
99 passing in with his winter wild card.
Yep. And they are actually linked to Karsdorp at Roma. See, they like have a fun squad, all these.
Yeah.
And that would be interesting. I can see that happening as well because Christensen just went to Roma, right?
Yes, on loan. Along with Llorente, they both went back on loan.
Yeah, so I can see Karsdorp coming to Marseille for that reason. All right, moving on to the midfield. Anything so far?
Anything with what? Sorry?
Any comments or anything?
No, I agree with all of your decisions. It's just Marseille is... They're always a team trying to compete with PSG, so it's always tricky, but they're making smart moves.
Yeah.
But they have to be so smart because they don't have that big of a team.
So we're moving on. This is going to be probably my biggest call. Wrong gear. He's actually got the highest market value out of the entire team. And I said sell. He's been there for about 5 years now. He's 28 years of old, and he's in his prime, right? Great player, but there's so much depth in this team.
Yeah, that's
I
fair
think they
enough.
could do without. I think they
Sign a
could do
star
without,
for the money that you could sell him for.
or don't sell anyone else and really develop what you have left in the squad because they've got some really great younger center midfielders who I'm going to be getting to. Next guy, Jordan Vertout. I remember when Aston Villa bought him as a young, exciting player. He's 30. That makes me feel old. Um, Bought from Roma 2 years ago. Keep just a very reliable CDM, just good at progressing the ball. Very, for your reference, a very Harry Winks type player.
Oh, I see, I see.
Kung Dongbia, they just bought him for 8 million from Atletico. I think that's a great signing.
Oh,
If
yeah.
he can stay healthy, he's a physical beast, and of course a Congo player. And then Papa Gay, they just came back on loan from Seville. He just spent that season over there. He made about 20 appearances, so I'd actually sell or loan him. He's got a market value of 10 million. If you can get a bit of cash for him, about 15 million, you sell Kandongbia, Vertu, maybe Rongier, and Ganduzi, who I'm going to get to next, who can play in that role. It's too many names. I'd sell him, promote someone from within, or invest in a prospect. Ganduzi, keep and develop. I thought he was older. He's 24.
Guendouzi's 24.
Yeah. He feels like he's 26.
I thought he was like 28.
Yeah,
I'm not
exactly.
kidding.
So keep and develop him. He's still not in his prime, 2, 3. He's going to be that star of Marseille. Keep and develop. Um, Moving on to the other Leeds rumor. You guys get rumored to a lot of players.
I know
Um,
for how well, I guess we're a big club, but it's still surprising nonetheless.
yeah, big championship club. Unani, the World Cup rocket star, brought in. His market value has actually gone down a bit. But, our favorite podcast, Ranks FC, Jack Collins loves him as a player. I'd keep him and develop him. If you can make an amazing midfield out of Kangdong there too, holding Unani and Guendouzi in that midfield, I think it sounds amazing, right?
Yeah.
And then just the way the squad is built, there's no real wingers. We're going to attacking midfielders. Malinowski, who they just brought in from Atalanta. Great free kick, dead ball, free kick threat. I'd say he's 30 years of old, 30 years of old, 30 years of age, 30 years old. Um, I mean, there's no point in selling him at this point. He's kind of there to be that dead ball specialist, and a team like Marseille definitely need that if they want to compete at the upper echelons of League On. So I'd say keep and start, and then Amri Harit they bought from Schalke. He's 26 years old, attacking midfielder, and I'd say keep, and you're gonna want to develop him a bit. Another just one of those young attacking guys. So a lot of midfield development to go on there. It's actually quite an exciting attacking part of the midfield.
Very
Moving on,
exciting.
yeah, Conrad de La Fuente. You know who he is? Big. He was
No,
a
I'm sorry.
American. He was a big American who came through the Barcelona system and made a few appearances for Barcelona. He's 22 years old. He was sold to Marseille. Just spent a season with Biancos, and it didn't go well. I'd cut bait, cut your losses. You bought him for 4. You could probably get 2, 3, 4 for him back. I'd sell your losses, have him go play in the MLS, and develop over here and be a star over here. You can 1v1 Messi. Um,
I mean, to be fair, many people can 1v1 Messi because he doesn't play defense. So.
Exactly. Exactly. Moving on, Sengiz Under. See, I can get most pronunciations this
Yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah.
Simon. Um, so Under keep. I didn't realize he played for Leicester for a season. I completely forgot about that.
What year?
think it was like 2019.
That was before I started to watch, so.
Yeah, you got short-term soccer knowledge.
I'm trying.
I know you are, but just how it is.
Yeah.
Um, 26 years of age only. He's breaking. I'd say keep and try to discover the previous form that had him look to clubs like Spurs and Arsenal and Chelsea. He's kind of puttered out, but hopefully, he finds his feet in Marseille. And then two strikers, um, Vitinha, bought in January from Benfica, worth 18 mil. They just got rid of Alexis Sanchez, and they just got rid
Oh,
of,
where did he go? I didn't realize he left.
I don't know. He's a free agent. Sorry.
Oh,
They
he
got rid
was.
of
I see. His contract just ended, probably.
they got rid of Milic, and they got rid of Luis Suarez to Almerica. So they've obviously trusted this guy with a lot. He's going to be good. Um, so hopefully he is.
Yeah.
Um, they bought him in for quite a bit. He's 23 years of age. So keep and develop him. And then their newest signing, I believe it happened today, um, or 3 days ago. No, his birthday was 3 days ago. A month, 3 days ago. They just signed Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang.
Wait, Marseille just signed Aubameyang.
Yeah, on a free.
I mean, it makes sense. Aubameyang was let go of Chelsea's not making his appearance in the Prem any time again soon, and he got a trophy with Barca this season.
He did.
He
Did he
did.
actually?
Well, he played a
That's
game.
funny. He did.
He played one
Um,
game and was signed by Chelsea.
that's true. So
So
I
he
said
actually.
keep. He deserves it, right? So I said keep. Just just came in. I mean, that's all it is to it. He's gonna be a back.
He's just fast.
I think he's perfect for the league. Of course, he used to play for Saint Etienne way back in the day before.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's older now, so he hasn't got that extreme top end speed when he was literally the fastest player for a year. Used to play for Lille, Monaco. He played for AC Milan, Monaco, and then Saint Etienne, then Dortmund, then Arsenal. So quite an interesting career path. But now he's back, and yeah, that concludes Marseille as they move forward and hopefully try to push these PSG at the top of the league this season.
All right.
All right.
Very interesting. I was more of a let most people go and keep your solid players, and you were just more of sell your best, not best player, but sell your most expensive player and keep most of the rest.
Yeah, they didn't have a lot of junk in the squad, but
Yeah.
like Monaco did.
Marseille is very good with how they spend their money, and Monaco had so much dead weight that they just had to get rid of.
Yeah, I won't be surprised if Marseille bring in 2 players on the prem again. Like they had, who's the left back for Arsenal? Tavares on loan list, and they had Kolasinac, but he just left up free stuff like that. But Bundesliga are next week's topic.
Yes.
We're going to pick the teams. Now, my question is, I was going to say who you're going to go with, but I think I know who you're going to go with.
Well,
should we make a slight change and like pick a random number generator out of the top?
I was thinking that.
Teams.
I was gonna say I don't want to do all the 18 because I don't want some. No offense, some shitty 17th place team. But I'll do a 1 to 8. I just really hope it's not Dortmund or Bayern, but it is what it is.
Right. Random number generator.
And this is based off the previous season's placings, I'm guessing.
Yeah. 1 to 8. Real. Yes.
Which Dortmund really should have gotten number 1, but it is what it is.
If I shared my screen, would you put this show on the podcast?
If you share, okay, try and share it. It is, yes, I can see it right here.
Perfect. All right.
Okay, is this for you?
Yeah, we'll go me first.
Okay, let's see what it is. Number 6. So you get
No.
Leverkusen, the team that you were going to go with in the first place.
That's awesome. Yep, Leverkusen sixth place.
So it looks
Obviously,
like it
they're
was
playing.
fate. And watch me get
Yep.
Bayern.
So we'll eliminate that, and we'll spin it.
5, which is SC Freiburg. Alright, I don't know much about them,
Freiburg.
so it's interesting. Don't know
Interesting.
much.
Yeah. Let me just
But
have a quick look at their players. That's wrong.
I saw I saw Royce
Same.
immediately. I was like,
I was so confused. Oh,
I know Ginter. Oh man, I do not watch much of this team.
this will be
Oh,
interesting for you.
Schlotterbeck's brother, I'm guessing.
Yep. Eggstein.
Oh, this is gonna be an interesting one to do.
Oh, I recognize him from FIFA.
All I recognize is Ginter. That's it.
Do you want to respin?
No, I'll do it. I'll still do it.
All
I'll
right.
stick with it.
Let's,
Spin it.
let's
Just
see what
let's
you would
just
have gotten.
see what I would have gotten. 8.
Wolfsburg.
Wolfsburg. Yeah, no. I'll just stick with the Freiburg. I know more about Wolfsburg, but I'll just stick with Freiburg just because. Just go with it.
Yeah, I definitely recognize more of the team.
Yes, I recognize much more of this team.
This guy's into Spurs. Anyways, we'll stop my screen share. Um, yeah, cool. Right. So moving on next week, I got my pick in Bayer
You
Leverkusen.
got your personal
Anyways,
pick, and I got Freiburg.
and you got Freiburg, who I know nothing about. So
Neither do I.
nice. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us this week on the Sideline Debrief. Next week we'll Bundesliga, as I just said, but and then moving forward we have the Premier League, and then hope after that we're thinking about doing a FPL fantasy football thing. So it should be
And then we'll
fun.
do every
Um,
league's FPL.
no,
No, we are not. I'm kidding. Just the
no
prem.
way.
Just the prem.
We
We
won't.
don't know
We
enough
won't.
to make good choices for the rest of
No,
the
by that
leagues.
point, the season will be starting, and I bet we'll do like an early season
By
preview.
December, we'll be done with all of them.
Turkish league preview.
Turkish league preview. We'll do the Austrian league preview. We'll go up to Russia, and then by the end,
I think that happened.
by the season ends, we'll do the Australian league debut.
Honestly, I'd be down for the Turk gory talk. We're gonna know so much, and then by the time we get back to the prime, it's March and City's already gonna have one of
By the
the
time we
first
get
of the
back to the
organized.
prem, it'll be the start of next season.
True. We hit the South Korean second.
We'll hit every single league, every single
Maybe,
one before we get there.
maybe we'll do a championship one, but like actually.
Yeah, maybe. I need to do a lot more research for that.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we have our choices for next week. So thank you everyone for joining us. Hopefully we get a few more views on this one. Maybe 5 will do the trick, but we'll get a bit more traction. No Modern Family in the background this week. So thank you everyone for joining us, and we'll catch you next week.
All right, see you then.